Very good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, sir.
What is climate change for you and how we can work on solution?
Yes, climate change is a complex phenomenon, uh, according to me. But to break it down and maybe make it a bit simple, it is the long-term shift in the Earth's weather patterns and temperature. And when we try to read, we see that they are both natural causes and uh, anthropogenic causes. Those are human-related causes that are attributed to climate change. But we see that many of these changes are being contributed to by human beings. So to mention, uh, natural causes would include maybe volcanic eruptions, would include changes in radiations, but uh, ideally, as of now, the greatest contribution to climate change is human activities, and these activities have actually led to global warming, that is the repeated or steadily increase in the temperatures of the earth, whereby many gases are released to the atmosphere and they form a thermal blanket. I think you've heard of the greenhouse effect or the greenhouse gases, for example, carbon dioxide and methane. Many of the activities that human beings are doing apparently are leading to the release of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which are forming a thermal blanket. So when the short waves are released from up in by the sun, they are then the earth, when they hit the earth, they release long waves which have lower penetrative power. So when this thermal blanket is formed, they instead bounce on the thermal blanket and then they are retained on earth, and that's how we see the repeated increase in the temperature. So activities that are leading to the increase in in this temperature done by human beings would talk of agriculture. Yes, much as agriculture is being done, but there are some parts of agriculture that are releasing greenhouse gases. For example, livestock, the decomposition of, of cow dung releases livestock, and even their feeds releases methane in the atmosphere, which leads to the formation of the thermal blanket. So deforestation, we know that many trees act as carbon sinks. They absorb carbon dioxide. So when we cut down trees, we find out that what would act as the carbon sinks is eliminated. So the only option left is is the carbon dioxide being emitted upwards. Then we talk of industrialization. You see how many countries are actually coming up with many industries, but we know that there is no other place these industries are emitting the gases to. So they emit the gases to the atmosphere, and of course that leads to the formation of the one. It would be destruction of the ozone layer, the layer that protects us from the direct sunlight, and again others contribute to the formation of the thermal blanket. Those are the greenhouse gases. And then, of course, even it's also observed in the automobiles. So much as we talk of the natural causes, but we as human beings are solely or majorly responsible for the climate change. So the solutions I would suggest for us to overcome or to reduce on the speed that we are leading our climate or our environment or our earth into that phenomenon of climate change would be that we should turn to sustainable sources. By sustainable sources, I mean we could turn to use of clean clean energy sources like hydroelectric power. We use maybe nuclear energy that maybe where I would expect emission of gases, we are not emitting them. Then there will be protecting our earth. Then sustainable agriculture. We should turn to use of organic, organic new fertilizers, not inorganic ones. We could as well embrace other crop cropping styles like agroforestry, mixing plants as well as trees, because we know we actually, as I mentioned earlier, as of now, we know how important trees are. Then another one is that in the locomotive industry or in the industrial sector, we should also embrace the use of clean energy sources. Like, for example, the vehicles, you can try to, in a systematic way, move away from use of fossil fuels and use of maybe fuels like petrol, like diesel, which when combusted, they release gases, and we use electric cars. That would help and give us a solution to global warming. And then we should also honor these signed agreements that are aimed at saving our planet against seeing what, because as of now, you know that the North Pole and the South Pole were initially occupied by high levels of snow, but as of now, they're melting, and we are seeing repeated increase in the sea level. So you can't just imagine that at one point, who knows that the whole world will be flooded, because they are really they are really melting at a very fast rate. So honoring all what was signed, and also these repeated uh, conferences that are being held to talk about these issues is important. And this can be from the international level, local levels, and from the local levels, the individuals can be sensitized. And that is driving me to the point of advocacy and teaching people, because it is our responsibility